Hello and welcome to Prep Smart. So today we are going to talk about the important news articles that came in the Hindu and the Indian Express. So these are the total 6 articles that we are going to talk about today. First, we are going to talk about Prime Minister Modi's recent visit to New Zealand. Next, we are going to talk about the E20 fuel economy. What are the updates? What are the stance of government regarding the E20 fuel and its rollout? Next, we are going to talk about the tribal women-led protest in the Kane Betwa project that brings to us a very important aspect of society and also women participation. Next, we are going to talk about the conservation projects that are approved by CAMPA. Also, we are going to talk about the WBPSC bill, and finally, we are going to talk about what are the recommendations of the parliamentary panel on the 130th constitutional amendment bill. Okay, so let us first start with today's first topic, that is Prime Minister Modi's visit in New Zealand. So as we already know that this week our Honorable Prime Minister is on visit to 3 different nations. First, he visited Indonesia. Then he visited Australia. And now on Friday, he has arrived in New Zealand for his the last leg of the 3 nation visit. Now, when he arrived in the New Zealand, New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon, he went to attend him in the Auckland airport. And what is important for us to know here, that what are the talks that has happened. First of all, we have to know that Prime Minister Modi is the first Prime Minister to visit New Zealand in 4 decades. So in last 4 decades, he is the first Prime Minister who has been visiting the New Zealand. And what are the major talks that we have discussed around this visit? So we, as a nation, India, we have discussed about the maritime trade. As we know that the 2 major important policies, one is the Act East policy of India, and the second one is the Mahasagar is getting prominence, so that the maritime security can be kept in a strong attendance, and also that bilateral trade can be improved. And also talks has been started in terms of the New Zealand free trade agreement. Right, it is not finalized, but this talk was held for the last 10 years, but recently in the around March April, the talk has started. And also, apart from that, what other update that we are getting regarding the visit of Prime Minister Modi in Indonesia and Australia is that Mr. Modi arrived in New Zealand after concluding a 3-day visit to Australia, where he held summit talks with Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Now, both leaders reinforced the vital role of the bilateral partnership in ensuring a peaceful Indo-Pacific. That is what I talked about by mentioning these 2 policy names. Make sure when you write your mains answers, you also mention about Act East policy and Mahasagar vision of India. Okay, the major highlight was significantly ramping up defense ties, especially in maritime domain. An agreement of civil nuclear energy to facilitate the commercial supply of uranium from Australia to India to fuel New Delhi's nuclear power project. This has also been sealed after 2 years of negotiation. So this is also very important outcome that is coming from this visit of Australia. As a Prime Minister has just landed on Friday, no new update has come. Probably the new updates is going to come, that what are the decisions they take after the New Zealand visit, and then in the following newspaper analysis I will come up with the takeaways. Okay, now after this, the next news that we are going to talk about is the E20 fuel outrage that is happening nationwide, right? And in the last analysis, we also discussed about that what is E20, E10, and what are the concerns that public are arising of using ethanol blended petrol, right? So if we talk about E10, E20, these means nothing but these are ethanol blended petrols. Ethanol blended petrol. So E10 means it has 10% ethanol, 90% petrol. So these are not pure petrols, but these are ethanol blended oils. Okay. Now the problem is here that initially E5 was launched in our country, then followed by E10. Now E20, launching E20 was a target of about by 2030. It was proposed that E20 will be launched, and it will be launched in a phase-wise manner, so that the engines or the vehicles that are used currently, which are not suitable for higher ethanol blended petrols, they will get updated, and so that there will be lesser damage of the vehicles and people can slowly switch to the ethanol blended petrol. But because in 2026 only recently the government has switched to E20, and now recently government is also was planning to switch to E25. So now there was a very massive outrage at different parts of the country that because of the using the E20, it has been seen that E20 has certain drawbacks. One of such drawback is that ethanol as compared to petrol is hygroscopic in nature. Hygroscopic means something that attracts water. So that means because it attracts water, it has a corrosive property, and that is damaging the engines that we currently have in our conventional vehicles. Okay, so that is one thing that people are highly concerned about. Second, by using ethanol blended fuel, it has also been noticed that the mileage drop is significant. Okay, mileage drop is there. So these were some of the reasons because of that. And also people were having one concern that although we are getting ethanol blended petrol, like E20 is ethanol blended or E10 is ethanol blended, then why we are buying it at the same price of a pure petrol? Okay, pure fossil fuel. So that was the concern. So based on that, the government has come up with some of the answers. First of that, they have said that what are some of the advantages of E20. So as per the ministry, it has said that E20 offers a significantly higher octane rating, okay, superior anti-knock characteristics, faster combustion, better pickup, smoother acceleration, and cleaner energy engine operation. It substantially reduces life cycle carbon emissions by around 40%. So these all are basically what are the benefits of using ethanol blended fuel. Okay, now these points could be important for us in terms of prelims. Okay, any of the points they can modify, and they ask us that which of the statements are correct, how many statements are correct, or something like that. So that is why what are the benefits of E20 apart from what are the disadvantages. Like I already told you, they are hygroscopic. There is a mileage drop that we can see because it has a high ignition point also. Okay, as compared to normal petrol, ignition point is also very high. So in the mornings of winter, it becomes difficult to turn on the engine which is using ethanol blended fuel. So those are the drawbacks of using this particular fuel. Apart from that, what other things the government has said that why the government is like selling the ethanol blended fuel in the same price. For this question, the government has answered that currently government is purchasing ethanol at a remunerative prices so that Indian farmers are fairly compensated, and that is why they are selling it currently in the same price as they were selling the normal fuel, okay, or E10. Now, however, it added that the price advantage of ethanol kicks in when crude oil prices reach $120 to $130 per barrel. Currently, it is being sold in the international market, crude oil pricing is going somewhere around $70 per barrel. So that is why the E20 blended petrol is being sold at the same price as compared to the normal one. The government has said that in argument that if the crude oil price reaches around 120 to $130 per barrel, then the ethanol blended petrol will seem cheaper. Okay, so overall the government also sought to assure the public that the decision to move to ethanol blended fuel was not a rushed one, as many people has put forward their concern because it was a target of 2030, but it is just introduced in 2026 itself. This has been a journey spanning over 2 decades, from pilot projects in 2001, then policy notification in 2013, institutional reforms in 2018, then 2021 it is coming ethanol E10. So basically, as per government, it's a very carefully calibrated, phase integrated blending levels that has been introduced and not a rash decision. Okay, so this was about the E20 fuel, which will come under your GS3. Okay. Now, the next news that we are going to cover is, so the next news that we are going to cover is very important because it is having syllabus overlap with GS1, 2, 3 and 4. Yes, so GS1 in terms of society, GS2 in terms of the policy and the governance, the Kane Betwa project that we are going to talk about, GS3 in terms of environment concern, and GS4 in terms of ethics, where we can talk about the development versus environmental ethics, and there you can use this as one of the examples in your GS4 answers. Okay, now what is the issue that is going on in this particular project is that Kane Betwa project, we all know about the Kane Betwa project, where the two rivers, that is the Kane River and the Betwa rivers, are proposed to connect so that the water scarcity can be mitigated. It has been proposed that Kane has is a basically water surplus river. So from here, water surplus river, the excess water should be supplied to Betwa, which is basically a water deficit one, and then based on that, whatever irrigation or drinking water problem that is there, that will be taken care of, that will be mitigated. Now the problem here is to do this project, a particular part of the area and the tribals that is situated in this particular area, which is the Chhatarpur district. Here basically the Kol tribes and along with that the Gond tribes. Okay, so okay, let me come here, wait. Okay, so first we are talking here about the Gond and the Kol tribes. Now their complaint is that they haven't got the enough remuneration, and many of them have not even get any remuneration, and they haven't got any rehabilitation as well. So because of that, the protesters, and especially the female protesters, they have shown some unique type of protest, which is known as the hanging satyagraha against the Kane Betwa project in Chhatarpur. Okay, so let us also discuss about this thing a bit more detail. So protesters, mostly women, have launched a symbolic agitation by placing noose around their necks. Okay, so they have placed noose around their necks to show their protest against the problem, and this they are referring as the hanging satyagraha. Okay, the protest that has been going on the banks of the Barana river near Kupi village has entered its 5th day on the Friday. This protest was also going on during the month of April, okay, where the protesters has complained that they are not getting a proper remuneration as well as the rehabilitation, and they are basically protesting based on certain issues. First issue is that they are having regarding the compensation. Okay, so the issues, if we discuss, the first one is regarding the compensation. So for that, what they have said that they haven't got the fair market value compensation. So they demanded for the fair market value. Next, they have also talked about the land for land rehabilitation. Land for land rehabilitation. That means they have demanded before displacing them from that particular area where the project is going to happen, they should be also getting an area where they can go and have a shelter. Okay, and obviously proper rehabilitation before displacement. Okay, now for this they have also talked about the environmental concerns. Some people are also worried about the environmental concern. What are the environmental concern? Like we all know that the Ken Betwa project is a part of the Panna Tiger Reserve. Tiger Reserve. Okay. Now, if this particular project takes part, there is a particular dam in the Panna Tiger Reserve, which is known as the Dodhan Dam. Dodhan Dam. Now this dam will submerge parts of the Panna Tiger Reserve, and if it happens, we know that there will be a massive concern regarding the loss of tiger habitat, forest submergence, etc. Right? So basically this current protest that is ongoing, that is known as the Cheetah Andolan or the Pyre protest, where as you can see in this image, the female protesters, they have lied on the cheetah. Okay, cheetah basically the wood is assembled for the like the way it is done in the Hindu customs for the last rite. So that is called cheetah in Hindu customs. So they have lied themselves on the cheetah. So that is why this is known as the cheetah satyagraha. Okay, now so these are the things that have been going on. Now what are the other things that we should be knowing about here, that in terms of what is the response from the government side? So the government is saying that that the villagers are being misled by some local activists who are using the site of Ken Bethua project for the protest. And also they have talked about that before that, as I already told you, during the month of April, the protesters again they launched another symbolic satyagraha, and during that point of time there was a fresh survey that has been conducted, and because of that 750 new families were added in the list for the rehabilitation plan of Majagaon Ranj project. Okay, the state cabinet this week has passed a resolution to increase the amount of rehabilitation package also. Okay, so these are the like updates that is coming on from the government side. Now basically what is the cause of this particular protest? So, the residents of several villages in Chhatarpur and Panna district have long been protesting the project over fears of displacement, demanding better rehabilitation and improved compensation. Various environmentalists, including former Union Minister Jairam Ramesh, has said that have all also expressed concerns over its potential impact on environment, local ecology, wildlife, as a large part of the project falls inside the Panna National Tiger Reserve and also the National Park. Okay, so this is all about this particular protest that is going on. Again, I am saying it is very important in terms of all the 4 GS papers, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4, because they are talking about the Ken Betwa River project and the Panna Tiger Reserve. You should definitely be revising the Panna Tiger Reserve. What are the rivers that is flowing through it? What are the ecology? What type of plants that we find in the Panna Tiger Reserve? Now, after this, the next news that we are going to discuss about is conservation projects for river dolphins and 3 other species. So, Campa has recently launched for conservation projects, or they have given approval for the conservation projects of river dolphins, snow leopards and wild water buffalo, as well as Indian rhinoceros. Okay, so the projects approved are studies on the conservation and recovery for the river dolphin, snow leopard, and as well as Indian rhinoceros and the wild water buffalo. Now, some things we need to know here. First is that what is Campa, and we also need to know about the status of these animals that we have just discussed. So Campa stands for National Compensatory Afforestation Fund Management and Planning Authority. Now, what is the role of the Campa? That we should know. From the name, we can understand that they do compensatory afforestation regarding fund management and planning as well. Now, this Campa is basically a statutory authority, and this established to manage and utilize the funds collected from different agencies regarding the forest land for non-forest purpose. Okay, that is the role of Campa, and under which act the Campa was established. As I told you that Campa is a statutory body, so Campa was established under the Forest Conservation Act 1980. Forest Conservation Act 1980. Okay, now apart from that, we have to little bit also know about the fund distribution. So whatever money is collected, that is distributed 90% by the state Campa and 10% by the national Campa. Now apart from that, here they have also discussed about 4 very important animals. First, we will be talking about the river dolphins. So can you pause the video and try to remember what are the protection status of all these 4 animals? River dolphins, snow leopard, then Indian rhinoceros, and then wild water buffalo. Any point you know about these 4 animals, please pause the video and try to remember and comment me in the below of this particular video. So first, if we talk about the river dolphin in India, the river dolphin, the 2 type of river dolphin that we can see. First is the Gangetic river dolphin, right? And second one is the Indus river dolphin, which we mainly find in the Bias river, right? Majorly it is found in the Pakistan. Now, what is the conservation status of the river dolphins? Yeah, as per the IUCN, it is in endangered category. Okay, and in Wildlife Protection Act, it comes under Schedule 1, right? And in CITES also Appendix 1. Any other point you can remember about river dolphin? So what are the rivers where we can find it? Basically in the Indian subcontinent, in Ganga, Brahmaputra, Meghna, right, and Chambal, Son, Ghagra, all of these rivers where we can see the river dolphins. And one point is very important about the river dolphins is that this is the national aquatic animal of India. National aquatic animal of India, right? And they are blind in nature. They use echolocation to navigate and hunt. So they use echolocation, right? Apart from that, they are an indicator species of fresh water. If the water is pollution free, then only you can find them. If it is very much polluted, you can't find them in that water. So they are indicator of fresh water, indicator species of fresh water, right? Next, to protect them, government has launched certain initiatives like Project Dolphin to protect them, right? Next, if we talk about the snow leopard, what are the points we know about the snow leopard? So if we talk about the snow leopard, first we will be talking about the conservation status. So first of all, the conservation status, the IUCN status here is vulnerable, right? And in Wildlife Protection Act, it comes under Schedule 1, and CITES also It comes in Appendix 1. Okay, next, where do we find it? Because it's a snow leopard in India, so you basically find in the high altitudes of Himalaya, right? Like Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir and all of these states, Himachal Pradesh, little bit. What are the government initiatives to protect them? Like Project Snow Leopard is there. Project Snow Leopard has been launched, right? Then there is also Secure Himalaya project is there. And then our next after this, we are going to talk about the Indian rhinoceros. Indian rhinoceros, or the one-horned rhinoceros, famously known as rhinoceros. Now, what are the points we should be knowing? First, obviously, its IUCN status is same, vulnerable, right? Wildlife Protection Act is it. This also comes in Schedule 1, and CITES, it also comes in Appendix 1. Now, where do we find them? We majorly find them in Assam, right? So majorly we find them in Assam. Little bit parts of West Bengal might you can find them. So where do we find them? Like what is the area in the world where the maximum population of one-horned rhinoceros is found? So this is your Kaziranga National Park. Kaziranga National Park. Wait. Kaziranga National Park, where we find the largest population of one-horned rhinoceros, right? Apart from that, if we talk about the highest density, please don't confuse. Largest population, Kaziranga National Park. Highest density is not in Kaziranga National Park, but it is in Pobitora Wildlife Sanctuary. Both are in Assam. Apart from that, there are other national parks in Assam like Orang National Park, Manas National Park. Here we can find it, and in West Bengal, Jaldapara National Park, and these are the area in UP Dudhwa National Park that they have been reintroduced. They are found. Okay, so next, they are some of the common points about them. They are excellent swimmers. Excellent swimmers. Okay, and for them, what is the government program that has been launched? Indian Rhino Vision 2020. Indian Rhino Vision 2020. So the last animal that is remaining is wild water buffalo. Okay, so wild water buffalo, what are the points we should be knowing? Anything you know about wild water buffalo? What it is, its IUCN status or Wildlife Protection Act, what is it? So first, if we talk about the IUCN, it comes endangered category. Okay, this is endangered. Next, in Wildlife Protection Act, this is Schedule 1, and in CITES, this is important. Okay, please remember, in CITES, this comes under Appendix 3. Okay, it is not found everywhere. Specifically, they are found around Nepal. So because their habitat is wet grasslands, marshes, etc. In India, they are found in Assam. So in India, we find them in Assam, then Chhattisgarh, Arunachal Pradesh, and little bit in Meghalaya. Okay, so what are the major areas where you find? In Assam, you can see them in Kaziranga National Park. Kaziranga National Park, then Manas National Park. Okay, and apart from that, in Chhattisgarh, Udanti Sitanadi Tiger Reserve, there also they are found. Okay, now what is important, that they are the ancestor of the domestic buffalo. The buffalo you can see in your village, or maybe in cattle farms, the domestic buffalo. So the wild water buffalo, they are ancestor of the domestic buffaloes of the wait domestic buffalo, and also they are largest wild bovine. Okay, bovine means this all the cattles like cow and then buffalo, they come under the bovine family. Okay, so they are the largest wild bovine. So I think I discussed all of this because this will be important for the species in news in your next prelims examination of 2027. And if we then start preparing, it becomes very difficult for us. Too much data, too less time, right? So if we do it on a daily basis as it comes in the news, then we remain relevant also. We don't go and read everything that is there, and we also keep in track with the preparation. Okay. Okay, so the next news we are going to talk about is that recently the WBPSC bill was released, and regarding that, there is a pushback that has been noticed from the top educational institutes of our country, like IIT and IIM, regarding the provisions of the WBPSC bill. Basically, according to these institutions, this particular bill, which is the WBPSC bill, which is currently under the review of the Joint Parliamentary Committee. Okay, now what is this bill is all about? So this is basically a regulatory overhaul of India's higher education system. The full name of this bill is Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan. So basically, this is following the National Education Policy of 2020, and under this particular policy they want to centralize the regulation of all the major educational institutions in India. Currently the different educational institutions in India are under different are regulated under different acts, like University Grant Commission, UGC is there, AICT is there, NCT is there, all of this is there. Now currently the bill is proposing a comprehensive regulatory body under the WBPSC by creating a single umbrella commission. Okay, now what are the organizations or the educational institutions that are going to be a part? The technical education institutions, teacher training institutions, and architectural institutions. Although the medical, the legal, and other professional courses will be excluded here right now. Now, this particular bill is aimed to replace the University Grant Commission, AICTE, and NCTE with a single body under the National Education Policy 2020, so that there is a coherent standard across all the general, technical, and teacher education. Okay, so this is basically in alignment with the National Education Policy, where four verticals has been recommended in our National Education Policy, and among these four verticals, three of the verticals is being followed by the WBPSC bill, that is regulation under a single authority, accreditation, and standard setting. Only the funding is not measured by under this WBPSC bill. Okay, now what are the complaints of the IITs, IIMs, and all other big institutions? Basically, they are claiming that several IITs, IIMs, ISERs, they have said that there is a need to ensure complete institutional autonomy for research, curriculum, and academic activities, depending on what are the educational viewpoint of that particular institution, what are their research ideology. Depending on that, they are aiming for the institutional autonomy. Similarly, several other organizations also have said that in the bill, which imply that the new bill will take precedence over the laws under which these particular institutions were set up. So that is also a concern. Now, right now, this tussle is going on, and as I already told you, that this bill is currently under the scrutiny of Joint Parliamentary Committee. But regarding that particular submission, the institutions has shown their refusal. Okay. So that is all this news is about. Next, we are going to talk about, okay, so this is a very important news that has come about, the recent discussion going on about the 138th Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so now this Constitutional Amendment Act, this is currently in the bill format, and regarding that, there is a joint parliamentary committee has been formed, and this joint parliamentary committee has come up with certain clauses. First of that, there was a trigger clause in this particular Amendment Act, which said that if Prime Minister, Chief Minister, or any minister detained remain within the, like, detained, basically they remain in the jail, they are being imprisoned for 30 days or more, and they are convicted for a case which has which has a imprisonment for 5 years or more. Okay, then that particular person's seat, or the particular person will get removed from the position. That was the initial proposal of this particular Constitutional Amendment Act. Because now, what was the need of this particular constitutional amendment in the first place? Because in our constitution right now, or in the Representation of People Act 1950, where nowhere it has been mentioned that what are the consequences of a sitting prime minister, chief minister, or minister being arrested and held in custody on serious criminal charges. So nowhere it has been mentioned, and that is why, to bring accountability, transparency, and public confidence, this particular bill was proposed. Now, recently, the parliamentary committee, they have said to replace the clause of removal with the clause of suspension. Okay, now what is their take on this particular thing? As they have said that until the point the accused is not found guilty, if the particular person is removed from that constitutional position, that is not a constitutional that is not constitutionally valid. Okay, so that is the based on that they have come up with this recommendation. Apart from that, some other recommendations they also have talked about, so let us discuss about that also. Okay, so the first thing, as I told you, that they have said here that the removal, or if it they become cease to be a minister, they are proposing that to change with the suspension of that particular person till the point the person is not found guilty. Okay, because they are saying removed or shall cease to be a minister carried an unwarranted finality of stigma, in contrast to suspension, where this suspension is a reversible order, right? If the person is innocent, then the person can resume his charges as the minister. Okay, next, as they have said that constitution is silent, and there is no definition of this particular thing, that what is considered as a serious crime, right? So they have asked for defining in this bill that what they are considering as a serious crime, because as I already told you that this clause will come if any minister, be him a prime minister, chief minister, or any other minister, remain imprisoned for 30 days or more in a serious charge where the imprisonment can be for 5 years or more, then this bill will be applied, this act will be applied. Now, in several different cases, it has been seen as per the constitution, serious crime is considered where the detention will be for 7 years or more. So that is why they have asked for more transparency and proper definition that what they are considering as serious crime as per this particular constitutional amendment bill. Next, they have also called for the fast track courts to hear such cases, and apart from that, they have also come up with some other suggestions. So these were the major thing that they have talked about in this particular article. Now this is very important for in terms of your mains, because CSE 2026 is mains coming, although they have I think the question has been prepared, because somewhere 40 days are only remaining, but for your upcoming UPSC examinations also and state PSC examinations also, this question remain very important. Okay, now next after this we are going to cover up places in news. This is basically we are going to talk about the Taganrog commercial seaport, which is situated in the north of the Azov Sea. So this particular oil refinery has been hit by the Ukrainian drones. Okay, now we should be knowing then where is this Taganrog seaport is present. It is in the north of the Azov Sea. Now, if we want to know that what are the countries that is bounding Azov Sea, so Azov Sea is has only two countries in the boundary, that is Russia and Ukraine. Okay, and then Azov Sea is connected to the Black Sea, right? So let us come here. So as you can see in this map, Azov Sea is connected to the Black Sea by the Kerch Strait. So here we can see the Kerch Strait. Then Black Sea is connected to the Aegean Sea through the Sea of Marmara. Then Aegean Sea goes and connects with the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, so this is very important for you to remember in the static point of view in terms of mapping. Okay, this is a very important, that what are the orders of this particular map. Okay, so we will be covering this much for. Okay, and there is also another news that is on July 17th, the hydrogen train is going to flag off by PM, okay, which will basically having zero carbon dioxide emission, and the route will be starting from Zind city to Sonipat. And why it is zero emission? Because only water vapor will be released and there will be no carbon dioxide gas emission. So these hydrogen trains are also known as Hydrail or H trains, right? And they will be providing as an alternative to the diesel fueled electrocuted railway routes that are being used. Okay, so that is why. Apart from that, as I already told you, that this will be covering around 89 kilometers. Travel time will be 2 hours. Okay, and what is more important is that this is basically the technology is coming from before India. It was only launched in Japan, South Korea, US and Canada only have the hydrogen trains, and now India is also joining that elite group. Okay, so India is being the 5th country after Japan, South Korea, US and Canada to have a hydrogen train. Okay, so this will be for today's newspaper analysis. Hope this discussions are helping you. I will be meeting you tomorrow with tomorrow's newspaper discussion. Till then, take care. Bye bye.